This podcast is brought to you by Stevie Wicks and by Give Us Mo Entertainment.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hi everybody. Welcome to this exciting episode of Your Broadway World Podcast. Today we have Kenady Sean with us.
Hello.
Brigette Wilson.
Hello.
Ben Meaders and Lexie. I cannot pronounce your last name.
Hey, it's all good. It's Nieto. It's actually grandson in Spanish.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. And then we have Christine and Jones with us.
Yes.
And
Hi.
you and Kenady are the creatives in this.
Yes.
We're the writers, the writing team.
The writing team. So then, a little tie-in for Kenady first. So last time you were on, we talked about Beyond Perfection. What have you learned since then that you're bringing into this new project?
Wow. So Beyond Perfection was my first child, if you will, of musical theater. And as you know about first children, you kind of learn everything on them. So I've made a lot of mistakes with Beyond Perfection that Scarlet Letter has gotten the benefit of. But the unique thing about that is I learned a lot about the production in New York and things I wanted to do differently. And so I got to bring that to Rebecca, who's directing this show, and say, hey, this is what I want to do differently this time. Plus, I didn't have the ability to bring Dallas people to New York last time. And so we get to do that this time, which is exciting. But I really like working on both shows, even in tandem, because Beyond Perfection is a completely original story, whereas Scarlet Letter is, of course, an adaptation. And I probably would have started with an adaptation if I knew any better, but I didn't. So I started with the hard thing first, and I've learned so much in rewriting and writing and rewriting and writing that show. And I think ultimately what I learned through Beyond Perfection, the last process, was that I think you start listening to too much criticism, especially as a young writer, and you're going, oh, I have to make this better, which is a good thing. But you can also start listening to everybody's voice and not have confidence in your own voice. And I realized that I started overwriting Beyond Perfection, or me and Hailey did. And we overwrote it and we overwrote it and we overwrote it until it was basically this mismatched version of itself. And we had a nice dramaturg that was helping with the festival that really said, hey, well, she said she redid furniture, I guess. She said, you need to strip the paint off the wood. Like, where's the wood of the story? Anyway, so I've thought about that a lot. And I think going with the Scarlet Letter, it's kind of like going backwards. We've always had the true wood of the story. It is the Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So it's been the opposite. Instead of going, okay, let's take the things off and see the wood, it's more like, hey, here's the wood. Let's figure out what Christine and Kenady bring to the wood, the furniture. If I didn't overextend this metaphor about furniture, because I don't know anything about furniture, but that's what I've learned.
Do you feel like your approach to writing has changed or matured between the two shows?
Definitely. I think I've learned. So Beyond Perfection, I've been working on for 9 years. And with Christine, I've worked on the Scarlet Letter for 8 years. So we've been kind of learning together. But I think most recently, I've been learning to kind of trust my voice and have that confidence in my writing. I think it's easy when you're getting all the criticism and all the rejection, which I'm sure as actors, y'all can relate to as well. You can kind of take that rejection personally. And growing up as an actor, I think I was used to it. But as a writer, I don't know. I don't know if it's more personal, but it's a different kind of personal and vulnerable. And so I've had to get that armor on and then realize, okay, I am a good writer. Rejection's not that personal, and not always. And how do I take that criticism and make it constructive and put it into a great show? And I think ultimately all of that lesson I learned in Beyond Perfection, and that has equipped me to feel confident and strong when it comes to the Scarlet Letter to adapt it.
Then, what drew you specifically to adapting the Scarlet Letter into a musical then?
So I usually start with this question because it was my fault. 'Cause I liked the book. I liked the language of it. I liked the idea of this weird Puritan society that was really strict. And I tend to be a very strict person. I call myself a recovering legalist. I can be very black and white. But I loved the poetry in it and the beauty of the mercy and grace. I don't know if I thought about that when I thought about adapting it. I just thought that was a really beautiful book. What if we made a musical in it? And I knew someone named Dr. Han Jones in my brain. And she taught me songwriting. And also, I knew she was also a literature professor. So I thought, who better to adapt the Scarlet Letter with me than Christine or Dr. Jones? And so I approached her, and she was wild and crazy enough to say yes. And that was 8 years ago. And that is how we started this journey, if you will.
Yeah. And I said yes because, well, first, I think I probably felt a little bit of social awkwardness around what do I do with a former student who's asking me to do this thing? And I think that maybe I should just try it to see what happens and be nice. Oh, but then it hooked me. It hooked me. I fell in love with the story and started to see these themes opening up, and it's so much fun to write musical theater. And so now I'm not Dr. Jones anymore. I'm just Christine. Now we're friends. So I love that journey for us.
Okay, and so the next few questions are for you and Christine together. Okay, so what made the Scarlet Letter feel like something that needed to be a musical? Either one of you can answer that, or both of you.
Well, Nathaniel Hawthorne, in reading it, the part that is not my favorite about the book is he goes on and on and on and on about some florid language. I always call it florid. I think I learned that word through adapting the Scarlet Letter. But I was like, man, this guy goes on and on. And that really lends itself. It's like when he starts going on and on, we put a song. And then it's wonderful. But also, I've heard a dramaturg say, and it repeats in my mind over and over and over and over again, is simple plot, complex characters. Simple plot, complex characters. And I love characters. I think it's because I started as an actor. And that's why I had so much problem with Beyond Perfection, because I don't care what they're doing. I just want to, talk to my characters.
Oh my God.
And so that's the beauty of the Scarlet Letter is the plot's already done. Now I just get to live in this character's world and love on these characters. And there's so many emotions that sing in this show that it just it writes itself.
Yeah.
Or, 8 years later, it wrote itself.
Yeah. Yeah, Kenady, I love that answer because I remember early on when we were writing for this, I thought, man, there's so little plot. In the book, The Scarlet Letter, you kind of start to see why it gets assigned so often because it's relatively short. So it's an easy thing to assign. It's this classic of literature. But if you took out a lot of those long, kind of introspective, descriptive passages, there would not be much book.
Yeah.
And so the same thing goes with the musical, of course. Instead of that, we get to sing about our feelings, and gosh, that's what people like.
I mean, that's true about every single Disney movie too. They sing about their feelings all every single time.
Exactly.
And that's what makes Disney movies good.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see. Uh, how do either one of you balance staying true to the original story while making it accessible to modern audiences?
That's been a challenge, but it's been fun. I think the first big challenge was we basically just did the Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne with music at first. And the biggest challenge is we copied like the lines out of the book, and they were pretty inaccessible, I guess, to use your phrasing. And so that's been a fun nuance to play with in language. But I know Christine, being a literature professor, it was kind of fun, I think, for you to kind of play with that language. I don't know.
Yeah, it was fun. And I mean, I would say like the way we write the songs is much more conversational. So we wrote all the music first, and then when we started dealing with the book, we had to think, okay, how can we now bring this language down to kind of match the level of what's in the music? Because we wouldn't have gotten very far trying to write our songs in the style of Nathaniel Hawthorne, or although there are some surprising lines that are almost directly out of the text. So it's kind of fun.
Which one is
Um,
it like? Isn't Brazen Hussy out
yeah,
of it?
brazen hussy is in there. So it's funny because it feels like such a modern thing. We have a line like, "What a brazen hussy." It's in the text. It's in
Mhm.
there.
But
Yeah.
then I think there was a dramaturg that was like, all right, now Nathaniel Hawthorne did his thing. You can't redo his thing. So how are you going to make it your own? And I don't know,
Mhm.
something just clicked in my brain. We had made some things our own, but it clicked. I was like, oh, no, we have ownership of this story. We could kind of take it the way we wanted to. And at that point, we added this school scene and we've added some things. Someone had asked me, is this pretty true to the book? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. And then I go, well, we added this school scene. And then I was like, wait, we added this other scene. So
Mhm.
it's very true to the
And
plot and the meaning of the book and the heart of the book. But we did add a lot, mostly to elevate the women characters. We added a lot of that.
yes, so Bridget is here who plays Mistress Hibbins, and Mistress Hibbins is a witchy character. And in the book, she's almost like a side note. She comes up again and again, and you kind of wonder, like, well, what is this witch character doing?
Yeah.
Why is she even here? She's easy to ignore, and we did not want to ignore her. We wanted to lift her up, and it's been really fun to see that character grow with each draft because we knew we wanted to give her more to do, and now we get to see Bridget perform it so well. So it's really paying off to have roles that an actor can enjoy.
What's been the biggest challenge adapting such a well-known piece of literature?
So I think that went to, or one of the things, I don't know if it's the biggest thing, but one of the challenges in that conversation with that dramaturg was there were holes that Nathaniel Hawthorne left that we were just leaving. And she was like, no, you can't do that. You now have to answer, you kind of have to fix what Nathaniel Hawthorne left a mystery. But one of the big questions was who's the father? So in the book, correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, in the book, it's been like 8 years since I've read the book. But but the father's a mystery. And so that was the interesting component is do we make the father a mystery or not? And her advice was no, because half the people that are coming to see the show already know who the father is, and the other half don't. So then you're kind of making it harder on yourself by making this mystery that half the audience already knows. So that was one of the big questions as far as adapting such a well-known story is we can't really have a mystery unless we add it. So everything is kind of already told, which it lends itself to some other things we play with. So now that the audience knows the father, there is now this situational irony, which I enjoy, that
Mhm.
we as the audience know and we're watching, but the characters don't know. That wouldn't have been there or wasn't there in the book.
Yeah. And then I mentioned this already, but just elevating the roles of women throughout. We have a role for the daughter Pearl, both as a child and as an adult. We have other women in the town. We just took any little piece of female characters that were even hinted at in the book, and we expounded on them. And that was also part of trying to bring out some of Hawthorne's more feminist themes that sometimes can get overlooked. And so we've had to work really hard to bring those out and make them clear.
Yeah. And I think in marketing the show, I think it's interesting what people think of when they think of the Scarlet Letter and trying to overcome that. So that's some people are like, oh, that's the judgy Puritan novel. And probably like, well, yeah, but also, or man, that's gonna be just a hate on Dimsdale show. It's like, not really. So anyway, I kind of like that excitement of people come with their preconceived notions and then they'll walk in and be like, oh, this is not what I thought, or at least this is a new Scarlet Letter that I can love and appreciate moving forward.
To be fair, a lot of my friends, when I told them I was in the Scarlet Letter musical, they thought that I was in a musical adaptation of Easy A. So it's
Oh, well, that's
much different
definitely
than
not
that.
what they would expect.
Which would also be awesome, but
I would love
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, the person listening to this that's like in the middle of writing that, it's like, oh no, should I not do that?
No, you should, and Emma Stone should star in it. That's what
That's
I think.
true.
See, that's the old. Okay, I feel ashamed, but about this, but that's the only know how I know anything about the Scarlet Letter was Easy
Me
A.
too. Me
there's
too.
no
too.
shame in
Yeah.
that, man. It's a great movie.
Well,
I love
It's
it.
a really
it's a-
way great,
yeah.
like it's not an adaptation of the show, but
Mm-mm.
it like touches on the themes in such a brilliant way. So
Yeah.
I love that. I
It's
love
a
it, and I love
testament to
Emma
the
Stone.
fact that this book has stood the test of time, though, because
Yeah.
the actual book was written or published in like the late 1800s,
Yeah.
but is still surprisingly modern to like our current societal standards and what's going on in the world.
Especially right now.
Um,
Yeah, holy
Yeah,
moly.
and then like you had a
Yes.
whole generation where they adapted it to Easy A, and so a lot of people know that that's the basis of that story, and so like you kind of see different pieces throughout time. So now we get a musical version, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Because like I still to this day have it burned in my memory of that scene where Emma Stone is walking down the halls in slow motion with the Scarlet A on her on her
Yeah.
shirt.
It's classic.
It's burned in my memory.
I do think there's a lot of that like modern adaptation of the Scarlet Letter, even with this I'm forgetting the word you used, Kennedy, for Nathaniel Hawthorne's type of language where you're
What is it?
Lurid.
Florid.
Florid.
florid
Yeah,
language.
florid.
Some
Yeah.
of that florid, some of the words from the florid language that still exist, but getting to perform it, there's a lot of moments where you can just deliver the lines as if you're saying it to your friend like today. And that is how I've been able to connect with the story so much. It's mostly hearing Lexie say things to me, with Dimsdale being so panicked and thinking overwrought with guilt that it's ruining his entire body, and hearing Hester talk to you and say, hey, it doesn't have to be this way. It feels, the way that you perform the lines is it's very refreshing to, like, if I had read it in the book, it would have been a long ode of why everything has changed and there's the turn of the century. I don't know, but it lends to helping modern audiences understand it almost in just saying the words that
Yeah.
way.
I mean, yeah, it's like Shakespeare, like
That was
modern,
exactly what I was-
It's like Shakespeare.
not even adaptations. They're still saying the words that Shakespeare wrote, but the way that they're saying it, even if you have no idea, like it's almost like they're speaking a different language, but the way they're saying it and the way it's sequenced in the show, it makes more sense. So thankfully, this is still like these are words that make sense to me when I read them as a sentence, as to where sometimes I read Shakespeare and I'm like, I love to read ancient Greek. This is very exciting. So this, yeah, it's certainly several steps closer to saying like, "Hey y'all, how we doing?" on stage.
Yeah, it's a good bridge in between the two. But I do want to just shout out to these performers because they are bringing this text to life really beautifully. And I do think even with the pains we've taken to kind of adapt it to more modern English, there's still some lines that I think people would trip over and say them maybe too formally or be afraid to give that more realistic modern inflection to. And these performers are doing such a great job of just bringing the text to life.
And I will say about the whole Shakespeare thing that Lexie said, like, I still don't understand the language of Romeo and Juliet. And then I go and ChatGPT the whole script thing.
Yeah.
Don't do that, guys. It butchers it. It butchers it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to go No Fear Shakespeare. That was I think SparkNotes has like their own brand of Shakespeare where they literally like translate it into colloquial, "Hey y'all, how we doing?" That was my best friend in high school. I literally like that saved my life in high school.
Like it just translates into like some sort of Brooklyn like, "Hey yo, hey."
Yeah. Can you imagine if you had like on you can select the voice you want to hear, you could do that. That'd be so silly if it would adjust it to whatever area you're from.
Yeah.
That's great. This is No Fear Scarlet Letter
Yeah.
Mhm.
for you.
That is a great way to advertise the show.
Yeah, there you go. I gotta write this down.
Yeah.
Wait,
gave
that's
her an
actually
idea.
brilliant. You've come up with something very brilliant here.
Oh no, I gave her an
He's
idea.
actually writing it down right now, yeah.
Oh god.
Marketing.
Yep.
So can either of you describe the best tone of the show? Or are we talking traditional, contemporary, dark, or experimental?
Yes.
The
For
above.
real though, like I feel like there's bits and pieces of all of them. This is a creative's question.
Oh, okay. I like mysterious for the tone. We have a lot of sort of mysterious sounding, haunting folk music. Haunting, there's the word.
Ooh, that's
So-
a great word for the whole.
Yes.
That's a great word.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tragedy, but Christine told me that back in the day, or still on the book, it says the Scarlet Letter, a romance.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
So
That's why, yeah.
it's
go ahead.
also a romance.
Mhm.
And it's so tragic that you forget that it's a romance, but it's kind of like the early, is it colonial time period? Is that pre-colonial? Are we in colonial or
You're asking the
pre-colonial?
wrong person.
It's
I don't know
like
what
the
happened
time
yesterday.
period of the Scarlet Letter
Yeah.
is pre-colonial.
It's the pre-colonial
just
Romeo
barely.
and Juliet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I like that. But it is like romance. Romance for Hawthorne, it doesn't mean like lovers romance, although that is definitely part of this. It's more like the way that Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights are romances, or Rebecca, so Gothic romance. So it's got these like Gothic elements. You got the witches, you got some supernatural stuff happening. You've got the high emotions. You've got this connection to nature, which is really huge in the book, where we feel like Hester and Pearl kind of represent something that is natural and good that should not be tampered with. All of that is part of the romantic tradition. And also, shout out to Taylor Swift for just a second. In her song, The New Romantic, she says, we all have our different we show off our different scarlet letters. Trust me, mine is better. I hope I didn't murder that lyric.
Hey,
But,
that's okay. That's another thing I can write down for marketing.
Yeah. So she's talking about so I just feel like this is not a coincidence. Like this thing about being a new romantic, that's us. We're the Scarlet Letter for new romantics.
Yeah, and I just ordered for merch A is amazing friendship bracelets.
Oh,
So we're going to
Yes!
have some Scarlet
Oh,
or
I
some
love
Scarlet
that,
Letter
Kenedy.
Taylor Swift merch.
Oh my
So
I'm so
gosh.
glad you did that. I was about to make a bunch, so I'm glad you did that and saved me
yeah.
from making
Etsy.
friendship bracelets.
Mm.
Etsy.
What's one moment in the show you're especially proud of?
I want the actors to answer this first,
Oh, what the F?
please.
Okay.
Especially
Well,
proud.
I
Is
just
that
want to
the
lift up,
wording
I
for
just
it?
want to lift up your performances.
Oh, I think my goal is by the end of this, I will be especially proud of one specific moment in the show. And it's a song adaptation of Dimsdale's governor election sermon, which is truly the hardest song that I have ever performed. No, Kennedy, I'm seeing your face. Not in a bad way. In like I need to tackle this in a way that I am proud of. Um, and because I love a challenge like that. I um I think by the end of this, just that will be a moment that I could look back on in my performing career and be like, I am really happy with the work that I did for this.
You already should be.
Okay, let's calm down.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
really good the other day.
It was good.
It was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you.
Which, talking about adaptation, so in the book, from what I remember, is we're like kind of with Hester's perspective, and she is only listening to the sermon through the door.
Oh, you're
So
right.
the sermon is not actually in the book. So that had to be completely made up. And so I was trying to figure out like what would he be preaching on. And so I picked a passage from the Old Testament about the year of Jubilee, which is this period, I think after seven-year periods, there's so after at the 50th year, there is this year of Jubilee where all like debts are forgiven, slaves are set free, land is restored back to their proper owner. And I thought, well, Dimsdale would want that. He would seek that this year of Jubilee would finally happen to him because he's so racked with guilt. Anyway, so it was a cool, unique adaptation to be able to think, what would a preacher preach at this very last sermon before he thinks he's going off and leaving his flock? Like, what would he want to leave them with?
Yeah.
But also, it ends up being his last sermon of his life. So,
Right.
spoiler
alert.
Whoa!
Or not.
Dimsdale dies?
What?
That's another sticker we should have. Dimsdale dies?
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, so last question for the two of you. Was there a moment in the writing process where everything clicked and you knew the show was working?
Probably welcome. Christine said that to me. Christine wrote that song, and I don't remember. I don't remember when that was in the timeline, but I remember hearing that, and I was like, "Wow, that's a good song."
I remember the feeling of writing it. I remember the feeling of when you're in the middle of something and you get caught up and you're in that kind of like wonderful flow state. You know, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes when you're writing, it's a real like it's real drudgery, like you're trying to make the thing work and it's hard. And when that song started to work, it felt very inspired. And then when we got to hear it for the first time performed live, this was at to kick off the Musical Writers Festival, I think in 2022. And that was just a really magical moment. That was a moment when I went, oh, okay, this can work. We have something.
I was part of that and it was beautiful. It was the first time I'd ever heard anything from the show and I was just thrilled to sing it. And I was like, ooh, I like wonder what the rest of this is going to turn into. And here we are. So
Yay.
I feel like
Okay,
there's a lot to say about like dedication to writing a musical when it took 4 years before you had a moment of like confidently, yes, this is going to work. Does that mean there was 4 years of uncertainty and passion leading up to that, like that, and not giving up? I commend y'all. That's
I
great.
mean, yeah, you're right, Ben, because like it was like 2 years of writing, and then we were supposed to have our first reading, and then the pandemic happened, and we had to make it digital, and then we applied for stuff and got rejected. I mean, it was just all that stuff for 4 years where you're like, oh no, I don't know if this will
Well,
work.
for the last 8,
Yeah, for
I
the last 8.
forgot we got rejected. Christine, you were talking about getting rejected to like 2 things we applied for, and like between 2023 and 2024 kind of area. And I completely forgot about that, but that was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, there were a lot, because there were things where we got really close. We're finalists for a few things, and then we didn't get it, and so yeah, there's
That's
just a
good
lot
though.
of
That I feel
a lot
like
of that.
getting past any sort of first round is some kind of confirmation of something. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we might have we got something to go. Somebody thought a good thing, and that's enough to
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
hard, but it's like acting too. It's like you
Exactly,
could
exactly.
go to 500 auditions, 500 interviews, 500 auditions,
Yeah, I know, right?
and never see any payoff. And I think, so I think acting kind of equipped me for that a little bit, but
Yeah.
you have to believe in it. And also, I think part of it is too, you've put so much work in, so you're invested.
Yeah.
So that's part of like, okay, I've already invested 4 years of my life. There's no going back. We're gonna get this done.
You're pot committed at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
They say in this industry, it's like, what's the statistic? It's like there's 1 yes to every 100 no's. And so you have to be completely at peace with the fact that you're going to go do your art. And again, art is subjective. So you have to get it in the right room with the right people at the right time. And so it's like resources like musicalwriters.com, like being able to go to something like that and say, hey, we have this thing, and have somebody go, yeah, we want to help you develop this. We want to help you grow it and help you turn it into your dreams. So I think it's really cool.
I'm gonna switch. I like to switch gears a little bit and do some character spotlights. So I'm gonna start with Lexie.
Hello.
Hello. Hester is such an iconic character. What is your personal take on her in this version?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I would love to meet her. Like, I feel like she is so, like, she has gone through almost every horrible thing that a mother could go through except for her child dying. Like, I think if that were to happen, I think that would be it for her. But the fact that she has gone through all of it, but has that tie to her daughter to be like, I can't let this falter because my daughter needs me, and we are a team, and we are going to get through this life together no matter how hard it is. I'm going to make, it's literally a line in the song that comes up a couple times is like, I swear on, like, I will make a more beautiful world for my daughter when she's older. I mean, so she's just, that's where I think I feel the most connected to her, is in the resilience and in the, man, things are tough. I mean, obviously I'm incredibly privileged. I've never had to go through anything close to that, but like, at least with the world going on around me, and there are plenty of things to be, horribly upset about, but the resilience of, I'm going to find community in the people around me, and we inevitably empower each other just by being kind, just by saying, hey, I recognize you. Hey, I see you. You may think that I'm a little freak for the things that I've done, but I know that we're all little freaks. So whenever you feel like accepting your freak, I'll be over here. We can hang out if you want to. That whole arc of this story is what I feel the most connected to. So I guess, I don't know, my take, I guess, would be really leaning into that and feeling really proud of that part of her story.
What's something about Hester that the audiences might not expect in this adaptation?
She can be a little sassy sometimes. I don't know, maybe that is expected because she is cool. But I guess those who are unfamiliar with the story, as I was, like, she's very kind, and she is somebody that you want to hang out with. She's an incredibly welcoming person, and she's a cool mom. She's a cool mom, and her daughter loves her so much, and and it's not just exclusive to her child. Like, it's not like I only love my child and everyone else has betrayed me, so I hate the world. It's just me and my, like, no, she's empowered by creating community, because she sees how it like that's all that she wanted in a time where she felt so alone. She doesn't want anybody else to feel that way, which I think is a lesson that a lot of people who have any sort of influence on anybody should learn. Is even if you had to go through something awful, that doesn't mean you have to make everybody else go through that so they can be on your level. No, if you have the power to help them through it and not because you know how awful it feels, why would you wish that on anybody else?
Right.
I got that was a little tangential. I
was
feel like I've
good.
gone away from the question a little bit.
Preach.
Yep.
Yeah, what can I backtrack a little bit? What was the OGQ question?
What's something about Hester that audiences not might expect in this adaptation? That was the question.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess that was just something that surprised me is like she is I mean, I guess we've talked about it too before is the reason the story has stood the test of time is because she is still very much a relatable character and she can teach people lessons that we can do today and it's such an accessible problem, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like the ostracization, is that a word? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that, that she goes through is still, so depending on what community you're in, how you identify, that's still something that people are going through today. Yeah. And just, I think it's so wonderful that such a story that has, again, stood the test of time, that's been around for literally, over 200 years now, or maybe not over 200 years, almost 200 years.
176.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're close. We're inching. The fact that something from literally centuries ago is still so applicable to feelings that we have today and situations that we can find ourselves in today. I think that is what surprised me. It's like, man, yeah, this is really something that we can still learn from.
I'm still laughing at the whole
Sorry.
I'm still laughing. Is there a song or a moment that really defines her journey for you?
Ooh, okay. Because there's such good I feel like each of her songs is such like a marker of where she's at. Because we start with one of her first solo in the show. The last line of the song is "I wish we were dead," and then the last line that she sings is "All are welcome," welcoming in. Like she's found this community, she's fostered this community. One candle alone flickers, two candles shine. Like it is so she's learned that it's worth it. She's learned that it is good. There is some good left, and she's the one who brought it. So I guess that's like, I don't know, that's the rainbow of the two that I think it's from start to finish. You go through it. So I guess I guess that would be where from where she's at, where she starts to where she goes. That first song and that last song, it's an unbelievable difference, and it's so empowering of such the thing that is so tragic. It is so empowering to end with that theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like easy tiger.
I know. I can't. That's me. That's me. The tiger doesn't know a cage. Okay.
No, I love it. I love
passion.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is
I
great.
get excited and I get loud. Some people, I often get mistaken, like my enthusiasm gets mistaken for anger very often. So that's
Well, that's like a love letter to like the writers, because
Yeah, it
for
is.
you to feel passionate about something that we wrote is like a dream, because
Yeah.
we always are like sitting here going, we're the only ones that are gonna be passionate about this. We're gonna fight,
dude.
but no.
it's so cool.
Yeah,
It's so
Lexie,
cool.
what you said earlier about her like bringing her freak to other people, like other people like expressing their own freakiness, whatever. I'm pretty sure I was listening to a bunch of Brene Brown's podcasts at the time of writing this. And if any of you have read or heard anything from Brene Brown, she writes about shame. And so in dealing with this novel about shame, I mean, she's an expert in how shame functions and what it is. And the thing about shame is it really does have to be brought into the light, because it only thrives in shadows. And so I just love what you said about the whole thing, because that's it. That's the message.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on to Ben.
Hmm.
Dimesdale is a complicated character. How are you approaching his internal conflict?
Yeah. Well, the part that I'm latching onto is the part that doesn't seem so complicated, at least to relate to. As someone who grew up in the church, guilt is something that I am strikingly familiar with. So the that's what I tend to try and bring into each scene, of like, so I can really highlight the difference between Hester and Dimsdale, of realizing that Hester's secret is out, which is what he is so terrified of. And you as an audience can see how much better off she is doing internally because of it. Like, the shame is out from the darkness, and Dimsdale is so convinced of this idea that it must stay in the dark, and that is what will make his life ultimately happier. It may have consequences, and it's Puritan New England, so it will have consequences, but keeping that shame within him and staying guilty about it is what ultimately leads to his weariness and death. And I as a performer, I'm trying to really hold on to the feeling of that I used to have when I was a kid, of like, I did something wrong and my mom's gonna find out, and just sitting with that unease and trying to almost over exaggerate it to a point where the audience can take the lesson out of, hey, I want to be with Hester. Actually, I think that Hester's doing it the right way.
Yeah,
But
I thought about another line. We were talking about lines that stick out to us earlier. The forgive me, Hester. I've already forgiven you, not because you deserved it, but I couldn't hold on to that darkness any longer. Like, okay.
well, and I think thinking of that too is ultimately sometimes ruminating on the guilt and the shame is worse than,
Yes.
you're thinking, oh, I'm going to tell my mom and it's going to be
Hmm.
terrible. And then you tell her and she's like, yeah, you're in trouble, but it's okay. I still love you. And that is so much better than you ruminating on the guilt for forever.
Hmm.
So, anyway, that's kind of the lesson of Dimsdale, that he doesn't really get to live very long. But
And the life that he does live is so stunted by
Yeah,
how much he's hurting himself.
Literally. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, literally
sad.
hurting
It's
himself.
Yeah.
so sad to me. I have sympathy for him.
Hmm.
As someone who, I guess it's also anxiety, someone who struggles with anxiety, usually the thing that you're fearing of is so much bigger in your head than the
Right.
actual
Always.
reality of it.
Always.
Um,
Do you see Dimesdale as more empathetic or sympathetic or flawed?
I I think as the actor portraying him, I have to see him as sympathetic so that I could be as honest with him to myself as possible. But to be honest, I mean, I think I see a lot of the mistakes that I make in him, and I just get mad. I get mad at him the same way I get mad at myself, of like watching myself do something I know is like ultimately going to just hurt me, and being like, come on, the answer's right there. And of course, it's very easy to see the answer when you're watching a musical, because Hester has just sung three beautiful songs about what the answer is directly to his face. But I think for this adaptation, he must be a sympathetic character for those in the audience that relate to him and want to take a lesson from it.
I'd just like to say, this was a serious struggle for us, or at least for me, because Dimsdale um, is we also could see him as he's a religious authority figure over Hester, and this puts him in a potentially abusive situation. And when you read the scholarship and the commentary around Scarlet Letter, some people go all in on that direction, and other people, and basically saying that Hester and Dimsdale could not have a real romantic consensual relationship. And other people say, no, actually, we are supposed to root for them as a romantic pair. We just made a choice to make their relationship genuine. And I think that that's a lot of what gives Dimsdale his sympathetic nature.
Mhm.
We like Hester liked him, so we're gonna like
I
him.
guess we gotta.
You
He must
know,
be good.
you
Yeah.
know.
Look, he makes me mad, don't get me wrong.
Yes, me
sometimes.
too.
But I think what we were touching on earlier with it being a period piece, but with some modern themes, is it really is just the human experience. And that's what theater is. And that's why we love theater. It's storytelling and helping us understand more about ourselves and more about this human experience. Because we've all felt shame, no matter what. We've all felt guilt. We've all felt shame. We've all felt alone. All of those things are like quintessential. I think, I'm gonna get this wrong, but like Psych 101, like we all feel helpless, worthless, and all of those things, like the core of our fears are rooted in that. And yes, did I have to stand on a scaffold with a scarlet letter on my chest? No. But I can still relate to the feeling of being alone or feeling helpless or feeling worthless. So, and I think that's why I think me and Christine went back and forth when writing Dimsdale. Dimsdale, Christine's like, well, he's a jerk. And I'm like, but he has this conflict in
You
his
get a draft of the
soul.
scripts like, why is he saying I'm a butthead? Why is he saying I'm so stupid? Blah blah blah.
And I think I ultimately felt more sympathetic towards him at the beginning when we were writing it. And that's why he has some redeemable qualities.
Right.
Well, and I wanted to be sensitive also to these issues in the larger world, right? So we really had to be clear about what is happening with Dimsdale and Hester, that this is a consensual romantic relationship.
Right. And they do love each other as human people, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I can still see Dimsdale as making bad decisions and realizing that he is not a good person, because, like, not only is he hurting himself by holding on to this secret, he is hurting Hester, the
and
person
his
he
child,
loves, and his kid. Like,
yes,
this is not something that is so singular to him, where it's like, oh, he's such a conflicted soul. Like, holding on to your shame has an effect on others around you. And I think that is something that's very, very correctly highlighted in y'all's adaptation.
But I think at the beginning, I was more sympathetic because he also feels like if he left the church, he'd be letting down all of those people and his calling to God. So it's like, do I let down my calling to God in the church, or do I let down my family? And that's kind of how I got sympathetic. And then when you step back, you're like, come on, you jerk. Take care of your wife and child.
God gave you the family, huh?
Right. Because that's where I lose my sympathy for him, because I've heard people give that exact excuse for covering up abuse, and we hear about it all the time. So
it's not an excuse.
So that's where I'm like, but so we just have to believe that Dimsdale is truly conflicted.
I don't know why, but when you said that, Kennedy, about leaving the church, I had that sound, that TikTok sound in my head. We've got to leave the church before the men find out we can shapeshift.
Yes.
We must leave the church before the men find out we can shapeshift. I don't know why I had that in my head.
So we could talk about Dimsdale all day. Sorry. He's a very complex character in a simple plot.
So then, last question for you, Ben. What's been the hardest part of bringing him to life?
I think what's been very tough for me is because he's holding on to all of these emotions and holding them behind such a stoic frame, you have to do a lot of acting with not a lot of physicality or volume. And I have always been a like farcical comedy actor. So this is something that's been very challenging to me specifically of like, how can I convey emotion that is visible from the back row, but also so small that it isn't giving it away to all of the other actors, you know, like I
That's a
can't
good
I
point,
can't
yeah.
be like so like uncomfortable that it's like, how does every other character not realize it's that
Yeah.
guy? But I also need to do things that convey these big emotions with very small movements that are still able to be seen from a live audience.
I guess, and I didn't even ask that same question to Lexie. What's the hardest part of bringing Hester to life?
Oh man, singing these songs well. No, I think we did. We talked about this earlier. But like, because, and I say that because they are, a lot of her songs are so, I use the word guttural. They're so like, and again, there are stage directions that are Hester laughs into a sob, Hester wails with the baby. Like, it's a lot of things that could be screaming that could hurt my voice, but I need to be able to do this for at least 2 weekends in Dallas.
Yeah.
But also like just for me as a singer, it's exciting to get to understand how to still authentically convey these emotions without hurting myself. Because if I were authentically feeling these emotions in real life, I would be hurting myself because it doesn't feel good when you scream for real. So as a professional actor, professional performer, it's been very challenging, but also very exciting to hone in specifically on that skill.
And then I'm gonna switch ties again to Bridget here. Mistress Hibbins is your character that you play.
Indeed.
Mistress Hibbins is such a fascinating and mysterious role. How are you interpreting her?
Man. I was talking about this earlier. I am convinced that the creative team likes to typecast me in certain roles, and this is one of them. She is this witchy, rebellious woman, and I'm kind of that in real life, which makes it very fun. But I think for Mistress Hibbins, she's got a duality to her in the sense that she is deemed wrong or different in her society, but still gets to maintain a level of power and persuasion and influence in her surroundings and in her environment and in her people that are in her town because of her status, right? So she's this widow of a high performing individual and still gets to maintain that level of security in it. But at the same time, is the entire town symbol of fear of the unknown, and how society uses the term of like evil or different to explain things that they don't understand. But for me, it's like she's like the dark alt Hester.
I agree.
She is the dark alt Hester. She is what Hester would be if she fully rejected all societal values and just dove straight into the rebellion and the dark side. And the thing is, like, I don't necessarily, like, for me personally, I don't necessarily view Mistress Hibbins as a villain.
I don't either.
She's a villain.
I was like, bro, I'd
town.
be in the forest. I would just to see. I'd be like, I'm not
Yeah, I think she's
cool.
great, and she's so settled in who she is and what she does. And the thing is, like, Nathaniel Hawthorne is the master of ambiguity. So like, there's the idea of that, like, they're calling her a witch, but like, is witchcraft even real? Like, it's like, do we know she's actually a witch? But she's just like, yeah, sure. One of her lines is, "A witch indeed, one quite in tune with the truth." And it's, you want to take that and you go, okay, like, what does that mean? What is the truth? What is the truth? what are we getting at? And she's like, well, if you come join me and hang out over here, we can talk about the truth, but you have to be willing to don your own Scarlet Letter, don your own sins. Like, virtue matters more than private sin in this society, but that seems silly. Just own it and be who you are. So that's how I interpret her. And she's very fun for me to kind of, she's more of like character, if you will. Like she has the quippy lines and she's got a little bit of levity into the show and says some really just underlying like funny dark humor silly little things,
Out of
like
pocket,
talking about
yeah.
like how is the church
Yeah.
affording such nice pews. Well, I made a business arrangement, that's why everybody accepts me as the town witch. Like it's you know, so it's been really really fun to like play with this character that has so much duality and so much layer to her, despite the fact she is not like at the forefront. She's like one of these side pieces that adds so much.
Mm-hmm. So then, I guess my other question is like, does she lean more into humor, darkness, or something unexpected?
Oh man, I think she's funny. I think that she thinks everyone is just ridiculous and she likes to just poke them to see what they'll do. She likes to poke the bear and just see if the bear will bite. Because to me, it's like she's watching Hester and she's like, yeah, this girl did this thing that is deemed wrong, but like, who cares? Oh, they care, but like they're also envious of her and how silly of them. Like, haha, I'm gonna make fun of you now for it. So I think she's got a really solid level of humor, but like she's got a lot of edge to her. She's the outcast, like the, and that's what I'm dealing with in the scenes and everything, is that like, oh, I'm part of this ensemble, but like I'm not one of them. I am doing my own thing, and I have to remember that like I'm not really part of society. I'm doing this extra thing and going over here and doing my own thing. And honestly, that's kind of how I am as a person. I feel like I have all these friends, but like I don't, like I'm not part of the group. I'm like the external outlying, and I just like to watch and I like to I love to watch, and I'm like, it's the voyeur in me. But like I love to watch and I love to observe. And I like to just watch all the little things happen and kind of gather all the tea and then just like go, this is funny for me. and it's Mr. Simmons.
So would you say that she leans more into humor than darkness then?
I think so. I think she's more humor. I think while she is the depiction of darkness in the original literary text, if you look at the underlying piece of who she really is, she's just all dark humored. Like it's just her humor. She is not the epitome of evil. It's just what society's made her out to be. So she's just funny and living in it.
Well, honestly, I can also say that about the girls in the Crucible when they were like being told that they were a witch because of like dancing in the woods, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, just going to be girls in the woods was enough to be bad, right? Like just going to go and have fun was like, oh, how dare you have fun? Like, no, we're not doing that.
Maybe that's her tea, is that she's like, you know what? All these people are going to say this about me. You know what? Yeah, I sure am, girl. Watch
if
out.
you're going to say it about me, I might as well do it and just go have fun with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, powerful.
But also I'm in the camp of with what cost though, because the Salem witch trials happened for a reason. That was gonna.
Oh yeah, true, girl. You might die for it.
Well, and the cool Hawthorne fact is his name was actually Hathorne without the W, but his grandfather or his father was very involved in the Salem witch trials, and so he added the W as an act of rebellion and defiance against the witch trials. So that's why Mistress Hibbins is such a puzzle to me. Is because he was not in favor of like shaming a witch or whatnot. So, but he has this witch character in there. So then it's like all this ambiguity, as you said, Bridget, is he's saying like, if he's going to call someone a witch, then I think maybe she really is a witch, because he wouldn't shame someone for being a witch because of that whole thing. But at the same time, there is kind of this element of the lingering Salem witch trials in there and the Puritan vibe and all of that. So Anyway,
Well, I think the character of Mistress Hibbins also in the original text was based off of like a historical figure who was actually burned at the stake during the Salem witch trials. So it's like it's one of those things, again, ambiguity is that like what's going to happen to her because
Yeah.
but you have the story of Hester who becomes this person that rises above. And so like does that mean Hester and her story and her journey and how she changes society's perspective of her give redemption and the ability to survive it as Mistress Hibbins? She had lucked out and had the security and safety of like a legal system being married to the person she was married to. Hester didn't have that, but she still was able to rise above. So does that automatically mean we're passing that along to a generation that came before but had more privilege, right? Like there's a whole
Yeah.
big yummy piece of pie to like dive into, and it's just like it's like 18 different types of pie.
Yeah, that's that post-show discussion stuff. Let's go.
Yeah.
So then, what kind of energy do you bring to scenes that she's in?
Oh my gosh, she's just sass. Like she doesn't care about anybody. And that's what I say about myself is that like I genuinely do not care what people think about me. And she genuinely does not care what people think about her. She's not unkind. She's not an unkind person. She's kind of blunt. She just kind of says it how it is. And she won't take anybody's crap. So like she's like, I'm not gonna do it. So she's sassy. She's just living her best life. She's meddling. I think meddling is a good word for her. She's a meddler. Like she's like, ooh, what pies can I stick my fingers in? Apparently I like pie
More
today.
pies.
Yeah, we're talking about pie right now. I'm hungry.
But like what can I stick my fingers in and what can I like what can I stir the pot with? We'll make the pot my cauldron if we're gonna call me a witch. Let's go. Like she's a meddler. So yeah, through and through. That's what I'm bringing to it is being
That's
a
why I
meddler
like
and
the
a
song
sassy gal.
Minister and a Maze.
Oh, it's my favorite song.
I love it. It's so fun.
Mostly because we get to see you as Mistress Hibbins, but not as the Mistress Hibbins that you've been for the rest of the show. We get to see you as what Dimsdale is so terrified of.
Mistress Hibbins actually in the woods.
Yeah. We get to see Mistress Hibbins, who which to Dimsdale is the devil. Like, and you get to put on this like spooky, witchy, like
spooky, little manipulative, but also like I'm making you think about things.
And that's true. Like that's the thing in that song. It's supposed to be like, well, I'm tempting you by telling you exactly what's going on and giving the whole thing transparency. Oh, it's so good.
Exactly. Like I'm really making you like, hey, let's think about this for a second. She's not just like, ooh, temptation, and you're just gonna give in. It's like, let's think through every little thing, and you're gonna make a choice, but this is the choice I think you're gonna make. Haha. Like so it's very fun. I love that song. Minister in a Maze, yes, hands down.
Oh, so good.
Best
Y'all don't
part
even know.
for me.
Y'all don't even know.
Get tickets and you will.
So then these two questions are a group question, so any one of you can answer. How would you describe the musical style in 3 words?
Oh, what do we
I know what it is.
I have 2. I can do it in 2. Haunting folk.
Ooh. Haunting folk. Yeah.
haunting folk.
To add a third, because I think we did haunting, evocative, folk.
Ooh, evocative.
That's it.
Man,
Uh,
it's that professor coming through with the words.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we top that?
No,
That
I
was
just-
good.
No, that's a
I
winner.
just remembered some copy somebody wrote sometime. That was
are there any musical influences or shows that inspired this score?
Ooh.
Now I want to know this one too.
that's a good question.
Well,
I-
Christine, I'm just gonna brag on Christine. She has a doctorate in literature, and her dissertation was on Bob Dylan. So that is some of what inspires the folk elements, if you can tell.
Yeah, there's a lot of just sort of classic folk stuff because of that. I've also got I don't know if you can see. I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt today.
Yeah.
There are several moments in the show that make me think of Led Zeppelin, which I feel like is an unlikely thing, but there's just a few
Yeah.
because they really wrote folk
Yeah.
music and then they made it rock and roll. But
Oh.
so anyway, yeah. But I think too, when we first started writing, Kenady was fresh off a production of Godspell. And when we first started writing, I was hearing a lot of Godspell
You hear
early.
a lot of
I
Bonnie
don't know if
Rose.
that carried with you, but early on I remember thinking, oh,
I
there's like Godspell.
well, Schwartz. Okay, people say
Yeah.
Sondheim, but I am not a Sondheim fan. I am a Stephen Schwartz fan through and through. And I love Wicked, but I love Godspell. So anytime I can throw a little Godspell in shows.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think back then it was like a challenge too. I always wanted to write a choral piece, and it was a real challenge. And so some of that kind of we used to call what's now 2813, we used to call it the dirgical. So it was like the liturgical dirge of the opening of
Yes.
what would a Puritan church sound like. And that was kind of where I was at. And Christine was in the folk. And then we kind of married the two into whatever it is today. So
Yep.
And this is for the cast. These questions are for the cast. Was there a song that immediately clicked for you when you first heard it?
Ooh. Clicked can mean so many different things. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I know, well, like I said, Minister in a Maze, when I heard that the first time, I was like, this song is sick. This song is so cool because it is so spooky and it's got like cool, like layering things and like, especially with, our choreographer's name is Christina. Her choreography for that song with the ensemble as like the trees in the forest, it's so freaky and cool. That clicked in a way for me that I was like, I know it's all done. It's gonna be so good. Because it's already so good. But I mean, in listening to the songs, I mean, and the baby cries is just like it's. I mean, that's like just like it's a great song. It's a really 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 good song.
That was my answer as well. When I was
Yeah.
listening to all of the songs, once I got to "And the Baby Cries," I was like, "Yep, I'm not ever in any way going to sing it, but I will be seated. And I hope to be watching it from the wings. I hope to be involved."
Gosh, yeah, there's something about that song because that was the one for me as well. Is that like I love Minister and Maze and partially because it's like mine, so like I get to be part of it. Like it's very fun and that's like definitely up there with my favorites.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, I got to be part of Welcome years ago and getting to hear that was a part of it. But like going through and listening to demos of it, like trying to learn the music and get a feel for the show. And the baby cries like I am not a mother. I have no children. I don't know what it feels like to like embody that feeling of that hysteria and the tiredness and the stress and everything that comes with it. And then like on top of it, in the context of Hester and what she just went through with her pregnancy, like in the dark, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so all of this has happened to me, and now the baby's freaking crying, and the way it is written will give you it just gives you full body chills, like listening to it. And it's not even like a lot of the time it's like, oh, this one note is what gives you chills. For me, it's the whole way through the entire song. You're just like, oh my God. And then it keeps getting better and better and better. And I think that was when I was like, this is really something special. Like this is the song that makes it. So well done, you two. Beautiful.
Are there any songs that you're nervous and excited to perform?
The baby cries.
Yeah.
It's a big song.
Because that's the thing is because it's such a beautiful song. I'm like, I have to do this justice and also keep it honest. And also I want to sound good because it's a beautiful song.
Lexie, no, help me remember. What is it? All of you, help me remember the name of it's the better to die,
oh my God, that one too.
I get
that
stressed out for Lexie because she sings that one. It's a hard song. You guys wrote a hard song, which like, yay, because as singers, like we love a challenge. We love something that makes us like do the thing. And when we do the thing, we're like, yeah, accomplishment. So like, it's fun to see people who can write like really meaty, gritty good. It's such a good song, but it's
Like,
so
when
hard.
it's hard because it's like a difficult subject. Like it's a hard song because, again, and the baby cries is hard because it's a guttural thing because she is going through like maternal hysteria.
Yeah.
And then Better to Die because everything has come to a head. There's so much drama and secrecy and shame, and she just wants it to be over with. And so it's just like, oh my God, enough already. So it's not hard for no reason. When a song is hard for no reason, just be like, hey, hit a like a high G in this song just because it sounds cool. Like, no, that's never a thing in this show. It's the songs that are tricky. Number one is just because it's musically intricate and it's cool because y'all are good writers of music. And two, it's emotionally charged.
Yeah.
So it's
so
difficult. The
thoughtfully
difficulty is
written.
justified.
Yeah, it's so thoughtfully written, but it also makes me so nervous because there's so much at stake with it, right? Like in so many different ways. So it's just but it's good nerves. It's like the itchy nerves that make you go ooh, like when you go on stage, for the first time.
Hi, I'm Rose Emanuel,
I'm Justin Cole.
and we are launching our production company,
Give Us Mo. We are currently filming from the iconic I Love Lucy soundstage. Check out the pictures.
And maybe we can call this soundstage one of the homes for our productions,
We currently have 3 shows that we want to put through production.
one of which is called It Only Happens with Rose, and it's actually a love letter to I Love Lucy and situational comedy.
Members Only is a workplace comedy similar to The Office or Parks and Recreation that is set in a ritzy, rich country club.
And then our last project is called M, which is a prequel in the James Bond franchise, which follows Judi Dench's character when she was a spy in the 1960s.
These productions are unfortunately, but understandably not cheap.
So your support means the world to us, and you can help us get props, cast, crew, maybe even a soundstage.
Your contributions and your shares help tremendously.
We appreciate everything you guys do for us and have done for us in the past.
Absolutely. We have some cool perks for you to check out as well.
If you believe in us, we can make our dream into a reality.
Be sure to visit giveusmoentertainment.com for more information.
Let's create some momentum. That was so cheesy, I love it. Make sure to follow along on our journey.
Thanks. A bunch.
Cheers. And that's a wrap.
We're gonna go back to Kenady, and actually all of you. So any one of you can answer some of these. So what has the rehearsal process been like so far? For any of you.
It's far away from our house, so it feels long. But cool. But it is good. It is tiring because, again, like we were saying, it's hard stuff. So it is tiring. But like, again, how cool that it's like it's challenging, and that's exciting. That it's such good stuff that we want to give it our all. We want to give it the energy it deserves because it is so good. So it's exhausting, but it's exciting.
Also, being in rehearsals for a new work that is still changing, that a dynamic piece, and it makes it feel like more of a collaborative effort, not one director's vision that we are all blindly following. It feels like all of us working together to make one thing, and that's very exciting.
Yeah. And to Ben's point about like new works are constantly evolving even during the process and even after this process. Like I am certain there will be many iterations of this show over the course of however many years, for all we know, right? There's always going to be like a little, like I think Christine, Kenady, you all like modified a song like overnight or something recently.
Yeah. Oh, and it was
like,
sick.
So we got a
great.
new
We brought
version
it.
of the song.
We brought it into rehearsal that next day, and we were like screaming about how cool the new idea was. It was awesome.
Yeah. And so like we have artists from all over DFW, or creative teams from all over DFW. Ben, Lexie, myself, we actually all live in Fort Worth, so we drive an hour to get to rehearsals. And then we go and we sit and we do. And so like the first part of it was learning the music. And of course, again, it's new music and it's evolving. So sometimes we're learning something that's going to change in another 2 weeks. Sometimes we're working with demos that are older and it's already changed. So like we have to relearn things, which makes it fun for us, especially like that's my favorite part of working with the new works, is that like I get to like play with it. And sometimes that means I might have done something with it that was like wrong, but you go, oh my God, I liked that better. We have to write it in, right? Like, and you see that happen a lot. So that's going on with the process. We've been doing the choreography bits, which are super fun. And this is like, it's such a grungy, artsy, whimsical version of this, which makes it so much fun to add those elements to it. Cause it could be like a very stoic, like piece that's just like everybody's on stage and talking in a lot of ways, kind of like Inherit the Wind or something as a play, but like you get the music, but you also get to like have movement with it and see a story built through physicality and music and emotion, and it's all pieced together. So that's been part of it. And now we're kind of going into, okay, let's get the whole show blocked and start piecing it together and see what feels good and what makes sense for the actors to move on and like naturally feels right in our bodies, with the actual text and what's going on. And oh wait, we caught something. This doesn't make any sense. Or can you clarify this for us? Or we need to modify this because it's not staying consistent with what we're seeing here. So it's very fun. It's a very collaborative process and evolving situation that we're experiencing, but it makes it all the more cool to be a part of. So yeah, it's been a cool process.
What's one thing each of you brings to the table that makes this production special?
I bring a silly vibe to the space.
It's true. Lexie is like joy to work with. So
that's very nice.
And I can say that because we've done it so many times now.
That's
It's
true.
just like it's always just like, oh, Lexie's here, breath of fresh air. So yes, she does bring silly vibes in the best way.
I think a lot of us bring a sense of community in that this is, I know Rebecca has explained it or used these words before, that this is almost like a musical writer's in-house musical, where it's all of us that have worked with this company for a long time, just bringing all of them together. So it's nice to have a show centered around the idea of community, doing it with
the community, a pre-existing community. Yeah, that's a great point. Wow. Yeah.
This is a little fun group question. Who breaks character the most in rehearsal?
Lexie.
Yeah, it's absolutely me. It's 100% me.
It's either Lexie or it's Daniel Hernandez.
So fast to put Lexie under the bus.
No,
See,
but
I
it's
was
true.
going to say
It's
Daniel
so true.
Hernandez and Joseph
Daniel
Kaminsky.
doesn't break. Daniel just is
He causes
like,
the breaks.
I'm gonna make this funny when it's not going to be. I'm just gonna do this bit. It's like, don't do a bit right now, Daniel.
We have such a fun cast. Like everybody's very fun and like just we all got along immediately, which a lot of us have like known each other for a while, but there's some people that like are newer that I haven't gotten to work with yet in like a certain work or anything like that.
Like quite literally the 11-year-old member of our cast.
Yes, who is killing it, by the way. But I've got these two who kind of serve as like my minions, if you will, in the show, and they are probably some of like the most funny humans you will meet just naturally. Like unhinged things come out of their mouths, and there was one part where it's like, oh, these two are going to be on stage with you, and I said they cannot be in front of me where I have to look at them because I will lose it. I will crash out on stage and start laughing, and she was like, don't worry, they're behind you and facing away from you, and I was like, perfect.
They're probably making horrible faces at you from behind.
Right.
Like I can't look at them, they're gonna make me laugh. So have fun.
So these are questions for Kenady and Christine. Why do you think the Scarlet Letter still resonates today?
Well, I think we said this before, but I think it's a common human experience that people have to feel shame and guilt. And it's inspiring to get to watch Hester not only survive it, but like end up thriving in ways that you don't expect. And we say her shame, oh no, what are we saying?
Her shame made her famous. Her strength made her
Revolutionary.
Revolutionary.
So we're hoping that revolution of strength continues, but I think that's why it's so relevant today, because we can all we can all be wrapped with guilt. We can all have this really terrible decision weighing on us. We can all be a jerk sometimes. We can all, hopefully we're more like Bridget and we don't care what people think.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do and we struggle with that. And sometimes we meddle too much and stir the pot and all of that. It's just timeless themes in a time period story.
Yeah, very specific, like, I don't know, very iconic. I don't know what's the word I'm trying to say. Like that time period is so specific and iconic, but they're still human beings at the end of the day.
Right. And also, I mean, every day we hear another woman's story, someone who is having to stand up and be brave and face the shame of a patriarchal society. And so many different kinds of stories of women who have been put in a situation similar to Hester's. And
I was thinking about
the
when
story is still fresh.
Lexie was talking about Hester. I thought about single moms today, and I'm like, now knowing how hard it is to be a mom, I cannot imagine doing it without my husband Cody. Like I can't. And he is like the most amazing dad, and having to do it all alone for so long and do it well. I think that is like the genius of Hester, and I think, the genius of all single moms out there that are raising their kids well, alone.
Yeah. And then, public shaming, which in the age of social media is, of course, an ever fresh
Scarlet Letter
source of pain.
Culture.
Right. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's basically that. Cancel culture.
New slogan. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
You're canceled with a big A.
What do you hope audiences walk away thinking or feeling?
Shame only thrives. Oh, sorry.
You go.
Okay. Yeah, shame only thrives in the shadows. So bring it into the light. Join together with this community.
Okay, these are fun lightning round questions.
Ooh,
Describe your Describe your character in one word.
Empowered.
Scared.
Meddler.
Favorite line or lyric? No spoilers, or maybe a tiny one.
Favorite? I can just do the same one again because that's what's on top of mind. I know they are not true, but even if they were, I have no husband for you to steal.
What kind of a child would call in a physician and only a child would call in a physician and hide the illness?
Too late to be pure, so why not sin?
I love that one. Dream role outside this show.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Go.
Man in chair and drowsy chaperone.
Princess Winifred and Once Upon a Mattress. Easy, no question.
Oh, yeah. Mine evolves at all times of my life. Right now, I just would really kill to be one of the fates in Hadestown. That would do it for me.
You would be really good at the fate. I can see it.
Thank you. I would love to. Manifest.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Go to pre-show ritual.
Yeah, there's Lexie's hydration. Severe hydration.
I'd say, oh shoot, kind of just going to the side and listening to music, Blair Witching in the corner and just listening to music.
In the corner.
I'm a little OCD, so like before shows, I will like write out everything I need to do during the show, like all of my cues and my costume changes and like my next scenes and stuff like that. So I like will review that like 5 times before I go on stage just to like make sure I'm really locked in. And then I really enjoy just listening to music and like getting in my own little world in my own bubble, which works really well for this character because she is already doing it. So
Okay, so then I guess some closing questions. What are you most excited for audiences to experience?
This
I think the hope
amazing
at the end.
cast, they're gonna love it.
Oh,
They are.
If they come as my friend, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, how did you get all these people to be in your show? This is awesome."
Yeah. I'm most excited. We did a full sort of read through on Sunday, and I got to hear for the first time this cool new stuff that Kenady added to one of our songs, and it was so exciting. It's this early song when Hester's at the scaffold. So I can't wait for everybody to experience that because it
it's
was really
so
fun.
cool.
It's so good.
That's what we all, when we brought it in the next day, we were like, oh my God.
Where can people follow the journey of this musical?
We're pointing to Kenady. I don't know if it reads to everybody else, but on our screen,
She's
we're
up
pointing
here,
to Kenady.
right here for me.
She's up.
What's in the corner? What's in the corner?
She's up here for me, but like she's like that
Go
way?
to musicalwriters.com, the Scarlet Letter Musical, to find out all the information about tickets April 9th through 18th in DFW, and then April 25th in New York City. And then maybe, if you really want to, we might have a little video for people that aren't in those areas later on. But you can also follow us at the Scarlet Letter Musical with underscores in between each word.
I'm not in the area. Please give me.
Mhm.
Uh, so Kenady, what's next for you after this?
Oh. The dreaded question. Sleep. I hope sleep is
Yes!
involved. I really do. I really do. But no, I have a couple other musicals in the works, but they are a little bit farther behind in the developmental process. So they're not quite as cooked as this 8-year process. So it looks like getting to love and enjoy writing for the first time again and not having to rewrite. So that's exciting.
Yeah. All right. So where can we all find you guys to follow?
Oh, I'm not really on social media, so find me on the musicalwriters.com/the Scarlet Letter Musical.
You can also follow Musical Writers at Musical Writers on Instagram. We are posting at least with this specific production, we're posting all of the things. Not all of the things. Kenady also has like her own storyline that's going on too. So follow both. And then just me, I'm just at Lexie Nieto. That's LEXINIETO. And then I also got a website that I made myself if you want to see it too. I just spent so long on it, so I want to mention it anytime I can. Yeah, that's me.
All right. Go ahead, Christine.
Oh, okay. And you can find me as a singer-songwriter performing as Christine Hand. And so I'm on the internet as christinehand.com, and you can find me on all the social media things as Christine Hand Music.
Right. And my handle is at bewildered, BWIL_DERED, because I like words. So that's what we're going with. And it goes Be Will for Brigette Wilson. So you can find me.
And then we also know, because I follow you, Orion.
Yeah, Kenady, what's your your personal ad?
I'm at Kenady Sean 24. Kenady spelled like Kenady, Kenady, and Sean spelled like Sean, SEAN.
Nice.
I don't know why I keep doing that, but for
love
those on the video, word.
Okay, real quick, but do you remember that weird, awkward time where Zoom, if you did this, it would like pop something up?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Thank-
it won't do it on this one 'cause it's not
Good
on
thing
there.
it wasn't doing that this whole time.
Yeah, I know, right? Every single time on Apple computers, sometimes, if you do like peace signs, it'll
Like
do like
FaceTime, it's
confetti
like laser
or thumbs
show.
up as fireworks.
Yeah.
And the rock and roll shows lasers. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my god. Thank God it doesn't do it here or anywhere else anymore.
Thank you so much, Hailey.
Yes,
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful
Thank
meeting
you for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
It was so nice to meet all of you. And
Yeah, back at you.
It's also great to have you back, Kenady.
Yes.
So with that being said, I'll put all the links down below. So with that being said, we're off, and I'll see you Eternal Stars later.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Thanks.
Da-da-da-da.
Bye.